I really want to get into maggot farming, which is the black soldier fly. But the problem is this: I don't have even the basic knowledge about it. I don't know if it is lucrative, if it has high mortality rate, or if it is even stressful. But in this video right now, we will build this knowledge together. To get the basic information we need about maggot farming, let's explore YouTube together. While browsing YouTube, I came across a video on the channel of Chidera Wanfo, where he had a session with a maggot farmer. From this, we can get the first-hand information we need. Let's get into it. The first thing every entrepreneur wants to know about a particular business before venturing into it is how lucrative the business is. And the same thing applies to someone who wants to get into or who wants to start up a maggot farm. What does this farmer have to tell us about it?
Is maggot farming profitable?
Very, very profitable. I will encourage any youth, those that are unemployed, to go into the business. It is now, the black soldier fly is a decent fly, not associated with disease at all. And that is why the maggot is edible. You can give it to your livestock.
What kind of livestock?
To your chicken, fish, rabbits, pigs, all livestock.
Rabbits too eat it? Yes,
they do.
Really?
Yes, rabbits eat it. And the maggot has about 50 to 53% crude protein. And we all know that the major constituent for livestock feed is protein. And so the maggot gives them the needed protein. Not just the protein, it has other nutrients that is very good for our livestock.
This simply means that in a time like this, when a lot of farmers are cutting down on feed costs, maggots are now used as an alternative to the traditional animal feed which we are used to. Due to the high nutritional value of maggots, they are now used as feed for fish, for poultry and other livestock, and these things boost the demand for maggots. So because of this, we can agree that maggot farming is profitable. Now that we have agreed that it is profitable, can we also say that it is a fast money spinner?
So like, in how many days does it take you to get a fully mature one?
10 days.
10 days?
Sure.
The whole recycle stuff is 10 days?
For maggots.
Just 10 days?
Yes, from eggs to having a matured maggot, which you can either sell as or give it to your livestock. It's 10 days, 10 to 12 days is okay.
Imagine having a business that is set to generate money for you every 10 days. Don't you think it is worthy of investment? Let me know in the comment section. But personally, what I would say is this: despite the fact that maggot farming is time consuming and requires so much attention, I think it is worthy of investment. Did I just say it is time consuming and requires so much attention? Let's check.
Is maggot farming time consuming? Do you need to observe them, or like maybe for someone who is working that does not have time, maybe goes out in the morning, comes back in the evening, can that person still go into maggot farming?
No.
Or do you really need to observe them?
Yes, you need to give attention to it. That is it. It needs attention because every stage needs to be monitored and worked on. Like you put in your flies, you want them to give you eggs. As soon as it gives eggs now, you have to harvest the eggs between 3 to 4 days. That takes time. Like somebody that is working might not be able to do that, leaving the stock to come and harvest. Now you harvest it and incubate it. It takes about 3 to 4 days for the eggs to hatched. And so at that stage now, you still need to monitor it and then put it in your nursery. Then start from the 5 DOL, you begin to feed it.
The level of attention required depends on the stage of the process and the size of the farm. In other words, during the initial setup, which involves creating the right environment for the larvae, more time is consumed. Let's see what ChatGPT has to tell us. So I asked ChatGPT, does maggot farming require so much attention, and is it time consuming? According to ChatGPT, maggot farming can be relatively low maintenance but still requires attention to ensure the process runs smoothly. Here is a breakdown of the key aspects. In the key aspect, it mentions setup, where it explains that setting up the farming system requires attention, but this is typically a one-time task. It also mentioned feeding. This is typically done every few days. It mentioned environmental control. It says this requires occasional checks, but it is not overly time consuming. It mentioned harvesting and it mentioned ongoing monitoring. So if you have an eye on maggot farming, you should be willing to invest your time. When starting an agricultural business, a good farmer will always want to know the setup cost. Now that we know that maggot farming is lucrative, let us also consider the capital requirement and how pocket friendly it is.
If not that prices of things are really gone up, you can start maggot farming with as low as 50,000 naira.
So someone can start maggot farming with 50,000 naira?
Yes. Then when I started mine, I did not even start up to that. My capital wasn't up to 50,000 as at 4 years back. But because of high cost of things now, to start maggot farming with maybe one insectarium, few eggs and some larvarium, I think 80 to 100,000 can set you up. And it is something you can start even without buying the startup packs.
Yeah.
If you go to piggery, you go to poultry farms, you can scavenge pre-pupae and then use that to start. That is, if you don't have money to buy the starter pack, but you have the money to buy the starter pack, you can buy 2 or 3 kg of the pre-pupae and then start up your farm.
In this aspect, I don't want to draw a conclusion for us because we have different financial strength. I just want to give my opinion. And in my opinion, I can say that maggot farming is capital friendly. Now check it out. The main requirements are the structures such as the insectorium, the larvarium and so on. And according to her, you can get your pre-pupae even without purchasing them, maybe from a pig farm. And because of this, I can boldly say that maggot farming has passed this test. It is indeed capital friendly. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Before I forget, we also need to know about the mortality rate of maggot farming.
I choose to do this insect farming because the mortality rate in it is very, very minimal. I will encourage any youth, those that are unemployed, to go into the business. It is very, very, you don't have anything to lose because the mortality rate in maggot farming is very minimal. And it is something you can start even without buying the startup packs.
Now that she has given us her own, let us compare it with what ChatGPT has to tell us. According to ChatGPT, in ideal conditions, maggot farming has a relatively low mortality rate, typically below 10% and often even lower. If conditions are poorly managed, mortality rates could rise to 20% or more. Considering this, we can say that the mortality rate in maggot farming is low. And don't forget that the pre-pupae may have been gotten free of charge from pig farms or maybe poultry farms. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. Peace.